If your belly fat just will not go away even after you've lost weight, there's a reason for that. Because belly fat is not only the fat sitting under your skin, there is also visceral fat, a deeper kind of fat stored around your internal organs. It can surround your stomach, your liver, and your pancreas. And this is the type of fat connected to many of the chronic diseases harming so many people today. Visceral fat plays a major role in diabetes, fatty liver, heart disease, and even some cancers. But here's the good news. Even though visceral fat is dangerous, it can also respond quickly when you use the right strategy. In many cases, it is easier to target than the stubborn fat just under the skin. So in this video, I'm going to show you one of the fastest science-backed ways to specifically reduce visceral fat and help burn it off more efficiently. We're going to cover the best foods, the best drinks, and then the most effective exercises that give you the biggest return for your effort. And if you enjoy practical health videos based on science and real results, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. Let's begin with food, because what you eat every day can either feed visceral fat or help shrink it. One of the most powerful things to add to your diet is carotenoid-rich foods. Carotenoids are natural pigments found in plants. They are what give carrots their orange color, tomatoes their rich red color, and spinach its dark green shade. But carotenoids do much more than just create color. They are powerful antioxidants. And that matters because a lot of what drives visceral fat is excess energy intake, which over time can lead to inflammation and disrupted metabolism. Carotenoids help reduce that stress by neutralizing free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells and interfere with healthy function. By reducing oxidative stress, carotenoids may also support genes associated with better fat burning, while quieting signals that encourage fat storage. In simple terms, they may help your body become more efficient at using stored energy. There was an interesting randomized double-blind study in Japan that looked at whether carotenoid intake could change visceral fat levels. Researchers found that after 8 weeks of eating carotenoid-rich vegetables, participants reduced visceral fat. Some groups saw even stronger effects depending on the vegetables consumed. But the key takeaway was simple. Every group eating carotenoid-rich vegetables showed improvement. So how do you get more carotenoids into your diet? Focus on colorful produce regularly. Carrots, sweet potatoes, bell peppers, spinach, squash, tomatoes, dark leafy greens. In general, bright colors are often a good sign that helpful plant compounds are present. Now let's talk about another powerful compound many people overlook when it comes to fat loss: catechins. Catechins are flavonoid compounds found in green tea, and they are one major reason green tea has built a reputation for supporting fat loss. You've probably heard people say green tea burns fat. While no drink is magic, there is real science behind why it may help. Catechins can increase fat oxidation, which means your body may use more fat for energy. They can also support energy expenditure, meaning you burn slightly more calories throughout the day. Some research also suggests catechins may help reduce the absorption of some dietary fat. And what makes green tea especially interesting is that it also contains caffeine, which can work together with catechins to enhance the overall effect. In one placebo-controlled randomized trial, people who consumed catechin-rich green tea for 12 weeks experienced significant reductions in visceral fat. So if you want to use this strategy, consider choosing minimally processed green teas, such as matcha, sencha, quality loose-leaf green tea. If you're sensitive to caffeine, use it earlier in the day and monitor how you feel. Now, I want to be clear about something. Any calorie deficit can help reduce body fat, including visceral fat. That is still the foundation. But selecting foods and drinks that support metabolism can make the process easier, smoother, and more sustainable. Now, here is where many people make a big mistake. They stop at nutrition. They think food alone is enough. And while diet matters greatly, when it comes to specifically reducing visceral fat, exercise becomes incredibly powerful. Research consistently shows this. A large meta-analysis of 117 studies found that while diet often has a bigger effect on total body weight loss, exercise may have stronger effects when specifically reducing visceral fat. That means something important. The scale might not move much, yet your internal health may be improving dramatically. And this is exactly where many people quit too early. They start eating better, they begin training, 2 or 3 weeks pass, then they check the scale and see little change, so they assume nothing is working. But that is not always true. You may be losing visceral fat, lowering health risk, improving insulin sensitivity, and changing body composition before the scale fully reflects it. That's why progress photos, waist measurements, energy levels, fitness performance, and lab work can be far better indicators than body weight alone. Now, let's talk about the best kind of exercise for faster visceral fat loss. A major systematic review analyzing 84 randomized controlled trials found that 2 of the most effective strategies were vigorous aerobic exercise and high-intensity interval training, also known as HIIT. Both methods performed very well. Resistance training was still helpful too, especially for preserving muscle, improving strength, and supporting long-term metabolic health. But if your short-term goal is to reduce visceral fat more quickly, cardio deserves serious attention. So what counts as effective cardio? Running, cycling, rowing, swimming, brisk incline walk, sports, dance workouts, jump rope, stair climbing. The specific method matters less than most people think. What matters most is consistency, because the perfect workout plan that you hate and only do twice a month will always lose to the good plan that you actually enjoy and repeat every week. If this video is helping you already, subscribe now, because the next step after learning this is knowing exactly how to train week by week. Now let's talk about frequency and intensity. A strong starting target would be 2 to 4 sessions per week, around 45 minutes each, moderate to vigorous intensity. How do you know if the intensity is right without fancy trackers? Use the talk test. Moderate intensity means you can speak in full sentences, but you sound slightly winded. Vigorous intensity means you can only say a few words before needing a breath. That usually means you're working hard enough to drive meaningful change. And here's something very encouraging. Exercise tends to have a dose-response effect, meaning the more consistently you do it and the more appropriate the intensity, the better the average results tend to be for visceral fat reduction. There was research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine showing that people who exercised more frequently or at higher intensity often saw proportionally greater reductions in visceral fat. But with extreme calorie restriction, the same pattern doesn't always happen. There is usually a limit where eating less and less gives smaller returns, while making adherence much harder. That is why the smartest long-term plan is not just starving yourself, it's building habits that work. Move more, train smarter, eat well consistently, recover properly, repeat long enough for results to show. So if you want a simple action plan to start this week, here it is. Eat colorful whole foods daily, use green tea if it suits you, do cardio 3 times weekly, lift weights 2 times weekly, sleep 7 to 8 hours nightly, walk more throughout the day, stay consistent for 12 weeks. If you do that honestly, there's a very good chance your waistline, energy, fitness, and metabolic health begin to improve together. And remember, stubborn belly fat is not always stubborn because you're failing. Sometimes it's stubborn because the strategy was wrong. Now you know a better one. If you made it this far, comment "Visceral fat ends now" so I know you're serious about changing this. Like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.